It is a Kansas City Chiefs instant reaction from the 580 Sports Talk crew on the 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel, which is called 580 Sports Talk, and on Facebook at WIBW News. Dan Lucero, Brendan Dzwierzynski, Spencer Dupuis live with you following the Chiefs moving to 4-0, but victory comes at a cost this afternoon at SoFi Stadium. The Chiefs beat the Chargers 17-10, but Rashee Rice leaves the game in the first quarter with a knee injury that Andy Reid would even acknowledge at halftime was not good. And it seems pretty unlikely that we're going to see the Chiefs' number one wide receiver for a good while, if indeed we see him again in 2024. We won't be the ones to end his season here on this instant reaction show, and there will be some things to celebrate about today's game, which, given the fact that the Chiefs got to kneel this one out with 2 minutes to go, this ends up being the most comfortable victory of the first 4 wins of the year for the Chiefs in that respect. But let's start with the big headline. Rashee Rice is injured. It didn't look good. His reaction was not good. He was carted off the field. Andy Reid said it wasn't good. I have a hard time seeing Rashee Rice back on a football field anytime soon. So if that's the case, Brendan, I'll start with you. Now what do the Chiefs do? Who's got to step up? What are they going to need without Rashee Rice in the lineup?
You need Brett Veach to get on the phone with someone. You need to go through the Rolodex. I mean, look, guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Last year you won a Super Bowl with a bad wide receiver core, right? Absolutely. Yes. Without question, you were able to do that. Rashee Rice was really good in the postseason last year. He still put up 937 yards as a rookie last season. And here's the other big reason why you could really use some help. And I'm not going to throw out names. Everyone on Twitter is going to say Davante Adams. Every single one of them. They've already tweeted it. Every one of them is like, get Davante out of Las Vegas, as if they have not read every single report out of Las Vegas for a calendar year now. That's going to be what everyone says. I'm not going to give you a name or anything like that. Something is going to have to change, either game planning wise or in terms of personnel, if you can go out and acquire someone. Because here's my big concern. His numbers weren't terrible by any means today. Your quarterback is not playing well right now. Like, he's not only has he just not been himself, I'm willing to say he has just been not good, and maybe not awful, but he has just not been good. How often do you see him airmail a throw like the interception he threw to Travis Kelce today, and then very stupidly, even outside of the Rashee Rice injury, very dumb in the first quarter in week 4 to be going after a tackle like that for your own safety and ends up burning someone else? That's a discussion for a different day. But Patrick Mahomes has just not been good as of late. You want to just look at the box score. It's fine. 245, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked 3 times, quarterback passer rating of 89. I mean, it's okay. You want to dive deeper. You want to go into the expected points added. If you're a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't, because it's not good for the second week in a row. 2 out of 4, 50% of the season at this point, guys. He has played substandard football. That's not going to get it done when, frankly, the rest of your offense is now going to be even more shorthanded. Now, on the bright side, you still have a great defense. You allow 10 points to anyone. I don't care if the Chargers were trying to run 1 possession per half the entire game and burn the rest of the clock. You hold an NFL team to 10 points in a game, especially after all the turnovers, you're feeling pretty good about things. So the defense can carry you again, but this offense is going to have to find something, either personnel-wise, coaching-wise, game planning-wise. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not paid to know what that answer is. But if Mahomes is going to play like this, you need other guys to step up. It was great to see Kelce step up. Obviously, I know, Spencer, you're going to have some thoughts about that. You picked him as your big chief on Friday. Guys are going to have to make plays. Game plan is going to have to change a little bit. But, man, if this is the Mahomes you get for a full 17 weeks, this is not the Super Bowl favorite at this point. Now, I'm not trying to be super dire, but let's take off the Chiefs colored glasses for a minute. This is not good enough.
Spencer, what are the Chiefs going to need? Who are they going to need in the absence of Rashee Rice?
They're going to need Travis Kelce doing Travis Kelce things like he did today. They're going to need Xavier Worthy doing what he did today. They're going to need everybody that's on their roster, except for Sky Moore. You can go ahead and cut that guy. Don't know why he even played today. When he came out on the field, he missed that third down. Was it the third down? I think he missed the third down.
Yeah,
catch.
It was a 3rd and 2. Yeah.
He missed that. I just cut him right now. Justin Watson, Noah Gray had some big catches at big times for them today. And I don't know what you do. They've been thrown the injury bug now 3 times to 3 of the players they expected to be top players on offense. And your quarterback's not playing the way you want to, although a lot of teams will take a 19 for 29 effort, 245 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. It's not the Patrick Mahomes that the Chiefs, in that he holds his standards to. So they're going to have to, as Brennan said, have Brett Veach pull out the Rolodex and make some phone calls to get a weapon.
Yeah, Sky Moore accidentally became important at work today. And that's not a great scenario for either him or the Chiefs. I think he was enjoying just getting his cardio in, and now he might have a role in this offense at least in the near term. But yeah, this is the most we've ever seen the injury bug bite the Chiefs in this dynastic run, other than the injuries to the offensive line that really hurt them in Super Bowl 55 against Tampa Bay. This is the most banged up we've ever seen the Chiefs offense. They have now lost wide receiver 1 until at least the playoffs. Or they lost Hollywood Brown. Let's not put a number on it. They lost Hollywood Brown until the playoffs at least. They have probably lost Rashee Rice for a very long time. Again, we're not going to be the ones to end his season here. We'll see what the MRI ends up saying. Isaiah Pacheco is down for at least another month. That's your top 2 wide receivers and running back number 1. What can make up for that? Well, Spencer, you touched on the first thing. Travis Kelce returning to form today was a really welcome step in that direction. 7 receptions for 89 yards for the big fella. I thought it was his best game of the season by far. And the Chiefs were creative, got him the ball in some different ways, got him in some one-on-ones, and that allowed him to be more effective. The other thing is you're going to need Mahomes to be great. And Brendan, you're exactly right. He hasn't been. He has been substandard. I don't think he's trusting his pass protection right now. I also think the Chargers were doing some really interesting things in the pass rush, baiting Mahomes to roll out to his right with that late stunt, baiting Mahomes to roll right like there's no pressure there, and Mahomes likes to roll to his right, and that's his throwing arm side. He makes plays on the ground. But then bringing that rusher around late was throwing a wrench into all those plays, and it caused a lot of bad plays, throwaways, and some sacks as well against Mahomes today. So, yeah, he's not trusting it. That being said, made a great throw to Xavier Worthy for the touchdown. He made a big throw to Noah Gray, escaping pressure and stepping up in the pocket to get that touchdown drive started to go ahead. And when push came to shove, he delivered on time to Xavier Worthy for that 3rd down conversion that won the ball game or sealed the ball game. And Worthy's another guy who just became a lot more important at work. And if he's going to be able to make those plays underneath and use his speed, that's a really good sign moving forward. I thought that play in particular was encouraging. But yes, Mahomes has been below the standard. 9 consecutive games now, Mahomes has given the ball away, whether it's been an interception or a fumble. That is a career high streak for him in the regular season. 9 consecutive games turning the ball over. He's got to be better. That's how high the bar is for number 15, because obviously he did some things today that were Mahomesian, the things that only he can do. But he is going to have to be a lot better moving forward, and he's going to have to pick up a receiver core that is, once again, at least for the short term, going to be extremely shorthanded. Defense, I thought, was really good. They gave up the touchdown on the scripted drive again. That's 4 straight weeks to start the year. They've allowed points on the opening drive, but after that, gave up the 3 on the short field after the Mahomes interception, slammed the door the rest of the way. Didn't run up the big sack numbers. I think it was Paul in the YouTube live chat. We welcome those of you who are watching us live right now on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, who said he was concerned about their inability, the Chiefs, to get after Justin Herbert with the decimated offensive line that the Chargers came into this game with. I actually thought the pass rush was pretty good, and it stood up and was counted in a big moment late when Chris Jones got that 3rd down sack. I thought this was another excellent effort for the defense, a really good game for Trent McDuffie, a dominant performance again by Chris Jones. This defense, another unit that, okay, if the offense is going to be stuck in the mud here for a moment while Mahomes works out the kinks and while they figure out who's going to increase in importance in the passing game, defense is going to have to rise up like this, and they proved again that they can.
Yeah, I totally understand the complaint about the defensive line. I thought they were fine in this game. In fact, they actually tied their season high in quarterback hits. I know it's only 4 games into the season, but they've had games of 10, 10, 6, and 1 so far. You can probably guess that 1 was when they played the greatest running quarterback of all time, Lamar Jackson. A lot harder to hit the quarterback against guys like that. But no, they got after the quarterback a decent amount. I thought Karlaftis gave you some good pressure. Chris Jones obviously did what Chris Jones does. He came up with a big sack late. I mean, that was just your typical Chris Jones kind of game today for Steve Spagnuolo's defense. again, like I said at the top, I mean, you only allow 10 points to any team in the NFL. I'm not going to complain about anything. It's not like there are a bunch of advanced numbers that tell you, oh, well, actually, the Chargers were really good in this game and got lucky. No, Justin Herbert, statistically speaking, if you look at things like expected points added, was worse than Patrick Mahomes in this game. And I am very much not pleased with Mahomes' play right now. Obviously you're great on a curve when you've got a guy who's that great. But no, I thought this defense played really well overall. I thought the coverage was pretty good for the most part. Pass rush did enough, obviously. So no, I'm not going to complain. I mean, we're back in a spot like we were for a lot of last season, right? Where the defense is the better unit of the two for the Chiefs. Sorry, special teams. And you just ride that until you can't ride it any longer. You got to the playoffs last year. Offense turned it on and helped carry you all the way. Defense so far this year, can you keep everything afloat while the offense tries to figure it out? If the answer is yes, this team's going to win a lot of games. And I think today was a day just like that. Kind of fit that to a T.
And while the defense was huge today, obviously, the Chiefs like being down 10-0 when Patrick Mahomes is at quarterback. They're now 12-0 when down exactly 10 points. It's such a wild, ridiculous stat. You're down exactly 10 points, not 9, not 11, and they come back to win every single time under Patrick Mahomes. But the defense, big again, Chris Jones. It just seemed like, as always, everything was reliant on the defense, as it seems this year. Like the late stops, this and that. It doesn't seem like we're late dart down the field thing. It's just a late defensive stop, and they seem to be doing that for most of the second half. It was just like stop after stop after stop, and while it didn't look like Herbert was injured, you could see him favoring and limping a little bit. I bet he got a big shot before the game in order to play the game.
Oh yeah, he was floating for sure, and he balled out, all things considered. He made some really impressive throws that didn't get caught. Like, you see the talent there with Herbert, but same as it ever was. You always see the talent with Herbert, and then you look at the scoreboard and you see his team lost. Like that's the Justin Herbert story. Last thing to get to before we wrap this thing up, guys. We have a new running back number 1 on this roster because Carson Steele fumbled on the first drive of the game, and when you're an undrafted free agent, you lose fumbles twice in 3 weeks. That is a one-way ticket to maybe trying to pick up some substitute teacher gigs, generally speaking, in the National Football League. Meanwhile, Kareem Hunt had a lot more juice than I expected, and after the fumble, it was almost all Kareem Hunt in the backfield. I think old Reliable, the veteran, has certainly won Andy Reid's favor over the undrafted free agent.
Well, I think you always got to give the guy that's been there the offseason to start the game and see what happens, and you ride the hot hand. And I think that's my thought coming in, was it was just going to be ride the hot hand at that point. If they were going to bring Kareem Hunt up. Kareem up is what I meant to say, but I said Kareem Hunt up.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the offensive line played pretty well in the run game. I will say that. I thought that Trey Smith, other than the penalty, I thought he had a really strong game, clearing some space for the run. The irony is not lost on me calling Kareem Hunt, of all people, old Reliable. I do find a little humor in that. I'm going to give it an incomplete grade. I need time. I will just leave it at that. I need some more time before and like, Dan, your point is probably right. Like, objectively correct that he is going to be running back 1 because Carson Steele fumbled, which is funny because Kareem Hunt, as we remember, his first game as a rookie back in 2017, fumbled, had no fumbles his entire career in college, comes in, fumbles on his first drive as a pro, and then obviously went ballistic from there. So there is a little bit of, irony in that. I just need more time before I'm comfortable saying, yeah, he can be number 1. But in a literal sense, yes, I think it's been made very obvious that Andy Reid is probably going to, as Spencer put it, ride the hot hand and go with Kareem Hunt and just try to ride that as long as you can till Isaiah Pacheco comes back.
I don't actually think that Carson Steele is going to be cut or needs to be a substitute teacher or anything like that. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But it was very clear. You can't put the ball on the ground and play a lot in that offense. Like, it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire started to fall out of favor in the offense when he started putting the ball on the ground. So credit Kareem Hunt for what he did offer in this game. 65 yards on the ground, couple of receptions. It helped keep the running game viable today. And it really needed to be to pick up, again, a struggling Mahomes in the passing game. We're going to wrap it here. Look, the Chiefs are 4-0. There's a lot to celebrate there. There are a lot of teams wish they could be 4-0. You've got champagne problems when you're at 4-0, but the Rashee Rice injury is a pall hanging over the result of this game. And we'll wait on the MRI results, but it is really difficult to foresee a future where Rashee Rice is back on the field anytime soon. And the Chiefs are going to have to make do with a receiving core for now that is honestly worse than the one that they won a Super Bowl with last year, because you know what last year's receiving core had?
Yeah.
Rashee Rice. So they're going to have to patch that together. Mahomes is going to have to get back together. But again, you would trust the two-time MVP to work his way out of a funk or a slump or whatever you want to call this. And being able to have these problems when you're 4-0 is a lot better than the alternative. So the Chiefs are victorious. We'll talk much more about this on tomorrow's edition of 580 Sports Talk. We're also going to talk about playoff baseball on 580 Sports Talk with the Royals qualifying. We don't know when they're playing yet on Tuesday. We hope to find that out before we go on the air with you tomorrow. We'll talk Big 12 football, K-State back on track, KU decidedly not back on track. We'll get all of that. Matt Verderame, our NFL insider, will join us. We'll have ourselves a fun time tomorrow from 3 to 6 on 580 Sports Talk, which you can listen to on 580 WIBW and watch on all of these same video channels. So for Spencer Dupuis and Brendan Dzwierzynski, I'm Dan Lucero, bidding you a good night for this Kansas City Chiefs instant reaction, and we will talk to you tomorrow on 580 Sports Talk.